The episode opens in 1908 at a lively fair where a young boy named Francis wanders through the attractions. This is the same Francis who will one day grow up to become General Shaw. Around him, performers are putting on all kinds of daring stunts. Among them, Francis notices a girl dressed as a clown. Her makeup eerily similar to Pennywise's. It feels like the kind of look. Curious, Francis steps into a horror house. Inside, a man is playing the piano. Around Francis, people with unusual appearances are being displayed as attractions, including a towering man and a pair of twin sisters. As Francis moves deeper inside, he reaches a dark corner where an old man calls out to him. The moment Francis sees the man's face, terror takes over, and he rushes out of the mirror house. He runs straight into his father, who has just bought him a slingshot. On their way home, their car breaks down, likely from overheating. Nearby, a group of Native American children are selling water. Francis goes to buy some, but he doesn't have enough money. A girl named Rose steps in and offers to trade water for his slingshot. Francis agrees, and he and his father continue on their way. Not long after, Francis and Rose become friends. They spend their days playing together in the forest. One day, Francis runs deep into the woods. Even though Rose warns him not to go that far, he ignores her and keeps going. That's when he sees an old man standing among the trees. The man is actually it, appearing in this form to terrify him. The old man suddenly gives chase, moving like a monster. Francis trips and falls, and the old man slowly approaches. At the last second, a stone strikes the man in the eye. Rose has fired it using the same slingshot. She grabs Francis, and the two of them escape together. The story then jumps ahead to 1962. We see Juniper Hills Asylum, where Lily has been held for quite some time. Her mother has come to take her home. A doctor warns that if Lily does anything strange again, they will deal with her much more harshly. Lily is with one of the caretakers, feeling guilty because she believes Ronnie's father is in jail because of her. She knows that if she tells the truth, that the children were killed by a monster, everyone will think she's insane, and she'll be locked away in the asylum forever. Quietly, the caretaker tells Lily that she believes her. Most people don't believe in monsters or wild conspiracies or things that sound impossible. They trust only what they can see with their own eyes. And the moment Lily truly understands that, if no one believes words, then words are useless. What they need is proof. Before all of this, the caretaker slips a turtle bracelet onto Lily's wrist. Now the story shifts to the jail. Officer Clint pays a visit to Hank, but he doesn't come in swinging. He stays calm, almost friendly. He says he just wants to sit and smoke a cigarette with him. Clint offers Hank a Pall Mall, but Hank turns it down and says he prefers Embassy Gold. It sounds harmless, but that detail is about to matter a lot. Clint casually asks Hank where he was on the night of the theater massacre. Hank answers without hesitation. He says he was home. That's when Clint drops the truth. They have a witness who claims Hank was seen on Jackson Street that same night. And to make things worse, police found an Embassy Gold cigarette pack at the crime scene, the exact brand Hank smokes. Then Clint twists the knife even deeper. He threatens to transfer Hank to Shawshank Prison. Hank breaks. He swears he didn't kill those kids. He insists he was never inside that theater. But there's one problem that keeps haunting him. He still refuses to say where he actually was that night, and that silence makes him look guilty. Outside the jail, the punishment has already begun. Not for Hank, but for his daughter. When Ronnie walks into school, every eye turns toward her. People whisper as she passes. Someone writes on her locker that her dad is going to be fried. It's cruel, petty, and it probably comes from the same girls who have always looked down on her. Rich tries to be logical. He says if the police arrested her father, they must have evidence. He says this is America, and people don't get thrown in jail for no reason. But Rich doesn't understand the painful truth of that time. Justice did not work equally for everyone. Ronnie knows that, and knowing it makes her feel completely alone. Then Lily shows up. Ronnie is still furious with her, but Lily doesn't back away. She tells her the hard truth. Even if they tell everyone what's really happening, no one will believe them. Not unless they see it themselves. That's when Lily reveals her plan. She pulls out a camera. Her idea is simple and absolutely insane. They're going to photograph the monster itself. If they can capture proof of it, then everyone will know Lily isn't crazy. And more importantly, Ronnie's father isn't a murderer. Ronnie hesitates. She asks the question no one wants to think about. Even if they get a photo, then what? They don't know how to develop film. They don't have a darkroom. That means they'll need help. Someone smart. Someone who can turn proof into something real. While the kids are planning something incredibly dangerous, the adults are uncovering secrets buried deep in the past. During an excavation, the army digs up a car. Inside, there's almost nothing useful. But General Shaw explains something disturbing. The object they are really searching for was buried more than 300 years ago, long before cars even existed. The car itself dates back to 1935, the same year the Bradley gang massacre took place, which means the evil they're dealing with didn't just show up. It's been here the whole time, waiting. This incident was also orchestrated by Pennywise. He wakes up every 27 years, and every time he does, disaster follows. Even Dick Halloran, using his powers, has been unable to locate the hidden object they are searching for. Now General Shaw decides to give Dick something that once had a direct connection to it. At the time, Dick is sitting inside a tent with his friends, water slowly dripping through the fabric above them. He is informed that he will be flying in a helicopter with Hanlon and Polly, so he can search for the object from the air. Shaw hands him the special item before they leave. The object turns out to be the same slingshot Rose once used to hit it. The moment Dick touches it, his senses kick in. He starts guiding Hanlon, telling him which direction to fly the helicopter. Once again, we are pulled into a flashback. On that day, Rose and Francis had just come out of the forest. Rose says the monster will not chase them beyond the trees. Francis asks why, and Rose tells him it is a secret, and that he should never tell anyone. What that secret is, we never find out. Back in the present, we see that Rose now runs an antique shop. Nearby, a group of Native Americans are holding a meeting, upset that the army has been excavating their sacred land. Daniel arrives and tells Rose that the car the military found belonged to Bradley, the same case connected to the 1935 incident. This means the army knows about Pennywise as well. We also learn that Rose is Daniel's aunt. Rose tells her to let the army continue their work, because they need to find out what they are really searching for. Meanwhile, something goes terribly wrong for Dick Halloran. He suddenly sees a Pennywise circus tent appear in front of him. The door opens by itself, and inside, Dick catches sight of Pennywise's eyes. More visions follow, and then he sees a massive pile of corpses. Among them is his grandmother, who warns him that it is coming, and tells him to run away. Dick tries to escape, but in reality, his body is still inside the helicopter. He is about to jump out when Hanlon grabs him just in time, pulling him back and snapping him out of the vision. Later, General Shaw comes to see Dick and asks if he saw him. Dick replies that he did not see Pennywise, but Pennywise saw him, and that should never have happened. If they keep pushing this, something terrible is going to happen. They should leave that thing alone. The general praises him anyway, and says that if he needs anything, he should ask. Dick then requests a separate place for himself and his companions to sit. At the same time, Rich and Bill are deep in serious discussions about science, along with an equally serious debate about who has the best chest in school. Lily and Ronnie soon join them and ask if Will knows how to develop photographs. Then Lily tells them everything. Meanwhile, General Shaw visits Rose at her antique shop. It has been 50 years since they last saw each other. Shaw admits that after leaving Derry, he forgot everything about Rose and about this town. Rose had filed a complaint about excavation being carried out on land she considers sacred, and it was that complaint that made Shaw remember her name. Shaw tells her that if she simply points out the sacred places, the army will make sure no digging happens there. The story then shifts back to their childhood. Francis tells Rose that his father has been transferred and that he will be leaving the very next day. Before he goes, Rose returns his slingshot, so he will have something to remember her by. She had already warned him that this town has a way of erasing people's memories. Back in the present, Lily takes Ronnie, Rich, and Will to the same watchtower. Will wonders how they are supposed to photograph a monster that changes its form every time. It appeared to Lily as Maddie and her father, and to Ronnie as her mother, using their fears against them. Rich suggests that it might be a ghost and says the only way to summon it is by performing rituals in the cemetery. Surprisingly, everyone likes the idea. At the same time, Dick arrives at Hanlon's house for dinner. Using his powers, Dick senses that Chalet does not feel comfortable in this town. That may be why Dick instantly knows they have a son, even without being told. Hanlon asks Dick about his abilities, and Dick explains that he can see things others cannot. Hanlon then reveals that when Dick peeked into his mind, he felt the same strange sensation he experienced when masked men attacked him earlier. This means Dick was one of those masked men, sent to test whether Hanlon truly felt fear. Dick admits he only wanted to confirm that, and promises he will never enter. Meanwhile, the four kids reach the cemetery and attempt to summon the ghost. Nothing happens at first, because Rich had been lying about the spells. Just as they decide to leave, the ground in the cemetery begins to crack open, forcing them apart. Rich encounters Teo's ghost. Lily comes face to face with Maddie and manages to take his photograph. Will is chased by Susie's ghost. After a terrifying struggle, all four somehow survive. Later, they sneak into their school and begin developing the photos. To their shock, the ghosts actually appear in the pictures. In one of the photographs, they notice something that looks like a clown. The episode ends on that chilling note. What happens next is the big question. Will they finally prove that all of this is real? Or will the truth stay buried until the next episode? That's where the story leaves us for now. Thanks for watching.